thing fucking recording. I don't even know if it's recording. Oh, yeah. Oh. Well. I remember about 100 years ago. Well, my voice is fucked up because I had a stroke. Not like I'm retarded or something. But about 100 years ago, I remember they kicked me out of this little fishing village. The little fishing village. They kicked me out of the people. They kicked me out. I remember the rain was lashing down on my back. I remember I was wearing a seal coat, a coat made out of seal skin. It was an overcoat that came down to my ankles. And I remember I was walking up kind of a country rutted road. And the hem of my coat was dragging in the mud. I remember I smelled of like burning wood. I always loved that smell, burning wood. I got over this mountain, and I remember seeing this horse in the middle of a field with it had its throat slit. Broke my heart seeing that. And I got very angry. I remember there were birds in the trees. They didn't dare ruffle a feather. The fucking fish in the sea nearby they didn't move a fin. And there was a rhubarb field nearby that was on fire. I remember the smoke knotted in my nostrils. I remember thinking, I'll be king. I will be fucking king in that fucking town. In all that land, I'll be king. Means I have to fucking kill every fucking child in that fucking town. They mock me. They mock me, especially that fucking that organ player. That fucking cripple. That fucking pimply fucking cripple with the bent. He mocked me. He'll be the first one I come see. So tired. I'm so tired. And I did bad. I did bad with all this. It's not my blood. This is not my blood. There'll be more blood. There'll be more blood.
Anyone who ever loved can look at me and know that I love you. Anyone who ever dreamed could look at me.
Fucking thing work. Jesus Christ, I can never tell if it's fucking. Is it recording? This thing? Ah, fuck. I gotta say, women, they never understand the depth of men's love for them. They just they don't get it. I'm not saying women don't love, sure they love, but there's always another bus coming, you know what I mean? But with men, you go down to any bar, you go down to any morgue, you'll see what I mean. There's this woman I've been seeing, and I'm not gonna say her name, but she's a transgendered woman, Puerto Rican woman, and we've been having a bit of a fight, and her fucking crazy brother is threatened to kill me. I'll fucking take care of him, that knucklehead. But I come home just now, and what's on my doorknob? On my doorknob, front doorknob, there's a plastic bag in there, and it has this nasty smell coming from it. And I go over and I'm about to reach it, something moving, things in there moving. What the fuck is this? And I open it. What is it? It's all dead chicken parts with the feathers. Chicken. The whole chicken was not unplucked. It wasn't unplucked. It was unplucked, and all freshly cut up, still moving. That's my ex. She's into Santeria. So I don't know what that means, that chicken on the doorknob. I'll find out. I have a book. But I don't think it means, happy Christmas. That's for sure. We had a fight. She thought I was flirting with one of her friends. I wasn't flirting. I was not flirting. Maybe 1%, 2% flirting, that's always there with a guy, but definitely not 3%, not 4%, definitely not 5%. You know what I mean? Guys know what I mean. So, this fucking life, how hard it can be sometimes, I know we all get our bloody noses in life, everybody knows that, but sometimes you get a fucking broken nose, you know what I mean? Sometimes you get a fucking clip and you get your nose broken, I'm having one of those days, Now I gotta take care of this fucking, the brother who threatened me, you know what I mean? This little jailhouse knucklehead, why he's the only one who did any time? Hang up. Say anything more on that subject. Life, reminds me of a joke. Can I tell you a little joke? There's an old Jewish grandfather, and he's on his deathbed, and he's in very bad shape. As I said, he's on his deathbed, and he's about to go any minute. And they, one of his grandkids from the city comes to see him at the last minute, and the kid is having a hard time. He's going to school, he can't pay for the school, and doing a little drug and hookers and that whole thing. And he's making a mess out of his life, as all young people do, as we all know. And the grandfather says, "What's going on? I feel you're making my heart heavy. Something's going on." He said, "No, grandfather, I want you don't think about me. You're a wonderful grandfather, and just I'll see you in the next life. Grandfather." And the grandfather says, "No, please tell me. I feel your heart is heavy. Tell me what's going on." And the kid says, "Well, I don't know what to make of this life, grandfather. I feel so little. I'm confused. I have this little pea brain, and all underneath all these burning stars. I don't know what to do with my life. I don't want to be a lawyer. I want to dance." And the grandfather thinks for a second, and he says, "Life is like a horse. It's like a horse wearing a soft smile with an apple in its mouth. Do you understand?" And the kid says, Did you say a horse with a soft smile and an apple in its mouth, Grandfather? That's what life is like? That's what you're saying? The grandfather thinks and he says, well, maybe not. Maybe not. Where's the fucking turn off the button here? Where do you turn off the button here? Oh shit. I'm still rolling this fucking thing on. Oh shit, it's rolling. Rolling. Oh man. Oh. Just dreaming, falling asleep. Dreaming. Dream. Oh fuck. I was over in Morocco again. That's what I was dreaming about, Morocco. I think about Morocco. About 300 years ago, in Fez, in the old market, or they call it the old market today. Back then, there was no old, there was no old, there was no new. It was just the market. And I had a little stand there, a little store, it wasn't a store, it was like a stand. It was like as I said, like 300 years ago, a long time ago. And I was thinking about that, and well, it was a little butcher shop, kind of what you would call today a butcher shop, and I sold, my meat, and I had I had some chickens and some cages and goat's heads and blood pudding, and I was doing pretty good. I had a nice little place. The other merchants were very jealous of me because, well, I was doing pretty good. It was nice and clean, I'd be cutting the meat and throwing the scraps to the cats. There was all these cats there, which I liked to have. I enjoyed the company, and they also kept all the rats away from everywhere. There were no rats at my place. There was no fucking rats scampering around at night when everybody left, but they were at the other places, so they were a little touchy about that. That's their business. Anyway, after work, I'd go to the square, and I'd get something to eat, and get a little chicken tangine, and I always loved a big thing of pomegranate juice with it. It was wonderful. And I was always kind of a loner, I was married once. She was a good woman, but it was the in-laws, The in-laws, they're very ambitious people, I'm not very ambitious, And, I don't need to be the most important person in the room, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to destroy, whatever goodness I have in me so that I could feel better than the next guy. It doesn't make any sense to me, you know what I mean? And, I'm not saying I've always been a good guy. I have seek solace in the arms of witches. That's for sure. That was my downfall. But I don't need to sleep with a bunch of 11 angels carved into the wood in my ceiling. In order to sleep good. I go into the desert. I used to go into the desert and sleep under the stars. I don't know if you know, but we are made of stars. We are made of the same stuff as stars, actually. We're the same soup of all the burnt out stars that we're made of. Isn't that wonderful? I think that's just fucking wonderful. Anyway, let me get the fuck out of this bath and go to sleep. Stars, who knew that, huh? I didn't know that. Wish, stars.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year all trouble.
How you doing? Funniest thing just happened to me just now. First of all, Merry Christmas to everybody. Look at this. I always wanted one of these things since I was a kid. Look at this, I got these. I always get problems. Look at the thing. The thing on top of the cop car. Since a kid, I wanted one of those. These fucking cops around here always give me a hard time. They owe me that. Fucking. Anyway. So I'm down at the having a beer. This is so funny. I'm down at having a beer down at the No Name Bar. It's a little bar down there. It's the only bar around here. Everything is gated up and burnt down. There's nothing around here. But there's a little dive down the block called the No Name. So I go down there once in a while to have a beer. I'm having a beer. There's an old guy down there named Old Man O'Shea, and he sells Christmas trees this time of the year. So underneath the L train, he sells them all there. And he'll sit by the window to make sure no, gutter kids are stealing the trees. So he drinks his beer. Sometimes he nods off there. Anyway, I'm down there having a beer, and I see him get off of jumps off of the stool, and he runs out. And then what the fuck? I go over there and peek out. He's an old guy. I don't want anybody bothering him. I go out there, and there's a mother screaming, looking into the trees. O'Shea's on his knees. He's poking his head into the trees. What the fuck is going on? I go out there. Turns out that the woman, a little kid, some fucking garbage pail kid, he went into the trees. He dug himself a little tunnel or whatever, and he went in there, and they couldn't find him. Asshole that I am, I get involved. Lady, well, she was kind of a looker, so, I say, lady, I'll take care of it. I get on my knees and I go into the trees, and it's weird. It's like 5 trees deep. It was like going into a fucking forest. I thought I was like in a forest in Germany or someplace, So I'm going in there and I'm like surprised. I keep going and I'm like, where the fuck is this place? I'm hearing owls in the trees, So anyway, I finally get out there. You're not gonna believe me, but it was the most beautiful place. I mean, it was snowing where we were on the other side of the trees. It was beautiful. Birds, deers jumping over bushes. I mean, it was gorgeous. And there was this beautiful lake over there. And like a big plate of glass. Quiet stream. Lake, rather. Big lake. There's the kid. Our kid. He's the only one there. It's got to be our kid. He has his sleeves rolled up on his arms and his pants, and he's in the water, and he's trying to catch a trout. Trying to get the trout, misses that. He finally catches a trout. You never see the kid so fucking happy. He catches this trout. He goes over, and he had a little fire. He made himself a little fire. Puts a big stick through the fish, and he's holding it over the fire. You never seen a kid wearing a mild smile. I swear to God, the kid was so happy. Anyway, I'm not going to bother him. I come back through the Christmas trees. And she's still there, and I say, listen, sweetheart, it's going to be okay. It's okay. Just trust me. I saw him. He's all right. He'll come out in a few minutes. Let me buy you a little drink. She's a little quizzical. I give her a little kiss on the neck. I was maybe a little inappropriate, but I don't know. Anyway, I bring her in. We have a drink, and we go in the bathroom, make out. She's okay. She doesn't have this. No, the husband's not involved in the picture. So anyway, I got a phone number, and then the kid came in. Came in looking for her. You know, you get his little belly with fish in there. So it was all beautiful. You know what I mean? So, you know, just a little story, no big story. And happy, Merry Christmas, everybody. You know, when you hear stories, I was very happy today. You know, so. Merry Christmas. That's all I wanted. This is a little Christmas story. A little Christmas story for the holidays. Okay. I never know if this thing is fucking recording. How do you tell?
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers.
I was remembering my father when I was a kid. He dove off of a rooftop like a swan or something. He didn't land like a swan though. Anyway, I was kind of a handful after that, and my mother sent me to Ireland to live with my grandmother. I was a handful, and I like biting kids. I like biting the other kids, you know, and I'd go to the park, and the other mothers would see me with their kids, and they see me coming, and they just took off like crows. So anyway, I go to Ireland, and stay with my grandmother. This is my father's mother, and she had a little cottage in Galway. This is before, they didn't have any electricity back then, you know, and you went to the bathroom in the back of the house, a little outhouse. And, you know, I wasn't the sharpest knife in the, you know. I was this gutter snipe from Brooklyn, you know. Anyway, the first day I went there, she tells me, my grandmother says, go in the back and get that bucket and go get some potatoes. So I put my coat on, I go back there. I find the bucket, but I don't, you know, I'm looking around for a bodega or something. There's nothing back there, you know. So I go to the edge of the field and I'm looking, no bodega. I go to the next field, fucking donkey from out of nowhere tries to trample me. I mean, I survived in Brooklyn, you know, for 8 years, but you know, I'm there 10 minutes. A fucking donkey wants to, you know, fucking bury my head in the ground. I had to jump over a wall. They have all these walls made out of stone. I jump over that into a fucking thing of nettles. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I go into the next field looking for a store, nothing. Next field, nothing. I come back about an hour and 15 minutes later, and she's like, "Hey, kid, where the potatoes?" I'm like, "Hey, sweetheart, where the fuck is a store around here, huh?" So she grabs my ears, takes me out of the house. And she grabs a pitchfork. I thought, Jesus. I mean, I got my ass kicked many a time, but what is she going to do? Fucking bury me? I mean, shit. She grabs my ear and takes me out there, and she goes up to the field, at the back of the field, and she puts the pitchfork in, and she peels back maybe about 3 feet of topsoil. She waves me over. I go over, I look down. I don't know. It was like the face of God or something. Like these little angels. These potatoes down there. I had no idea potatoes grew in the earth. You know, had they been nuggets of gold, they wouldn't have looked so beautiful. Yeah. Life was pretty good there for a while, you know. I was thinking about the time I was how old? I was about 17, 18. I was looking at 8 years in prison. And that was fine with me. I mean, I didn't give a fuck at that point. I thought, you know, state owned, they can have me. This is where I deserve to be. And I remember it was like in a movie. I'm holding on to the bars of the cell thinking, like, take me, flush my ass away. I don't give a fuck. And I was really about just to surrender to that feeling, you know? They could have thrown another 30. I didn't give a fuck whether I died in there. I just didn't give a fuck. I didn't think I was going to live that long anyway. But just as I was about to surrender to that feeling, like I was a piece of shit, I remember when I was in Ireland as a kid. I stayed with my grandmother. It's a long story, but they shipped me off to stay with my grandmother in this little cottage in Galway, the country. And it was just me and her. She was an old lady, and you know, there's no TV. Everything was by the fireplace, big fireplace. You know, you cook you'd make your cake, your pies there. You'd make a chicken. You'd dry the clothes. Everything was in front of this fireplace. It was really beautiful. At night, people might knock on the door when it was raining, just to warm up. You know, they just come in, knock there, they sit down, and they either say something or they wouldn't say something, and you just all sit there by the fireplace. It was very beautiful. Anyway, after a while, she started knitting something. I never seen anybody knit. Just hours, every night, hours knitting, and then every couple of days she'd put a piece of it, you know, up against my arm or in the front of me, and I thought she did little things to make a couple extra, you know, shillings, and I thought she was just knitting it for somebody. You know, I didn't, because it looked like a man's sweater. There were no men around except for me. And so this went on every night by the fire, her knitting, hours and hours and hours. She didn't talk much, I didn't talk much. And after about, I don't know, I'd say 5 weeks, she had me, she put it all together, and there the whole sweater was done, and she made me put the sweater on. And I put it on. Jesus Christ, it was like the color of like a seaweed. Beautiful. I mean, it was just beautiful. So I put it on, and she's standing back, and she's looking, and she's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What do I? Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's a nice, beautiful sweater." And so I go to take it off. She said, "Whoa, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, what do you mean? What am I doing?" She said, "Do you like it?" I said, "Yeah, it's beautiful. Why?" Anyway, it was. She made it for me. She made the sweater for me, and as I said, I was holding on to the bars, and I remembered that, and I thought, well, Jesus, if somebody went to the trouble of making me that sweater, there must have been something good in me she saw. And yeah, no big story, just a sweater.
Oh, the broom and the bonny, bonny broom. The broom o'er the cowden knowes. Fain would I be in my ain country, herding our fathers' yows. How blithe was I each morn to see my lass come o'er the hill. She'd skip the barn and run to me. I met her way goodwill. Oh, the broom, and the bonny, bonny broom. The broom, oh, the cow.
I don't know. My memory is not like it used to be. That's my fault. I did a lot of drugs back in the day. A lot of glue. Sniffed a lot of glue. Jesus Christ, I love sniffing glue. And luckily, I found a place. This might sound strange to you, but I found a place in Jersey, in Marwat, a little gas station by the side of a highway. Nobody goes there. But the bathroom. They got a public bathroom in the back of this place, and as I said, nobody goes there. It's nice and quiet. You wouldn't go back there in your right mind with an army, But for me, it's perfect, nice and quiet. And what I do, I go in there and I take my clothes off and I levitate. I levitate maybe about 6 feet off of the ground, right above the sink, and a little higher than the sink, just in front of this broken mirror they got there. And I have found the vibes there are beautiful, and it helps me replenish my memories. How, I don't know. It's an old Turk. He showed me this trick a long, long time ago. But anyway, I was just sitting here, and I was thinking I haven't thought of this in many a moon. This is something that happened to me maybe about, when would this be? Maybe about 170 years ago. About 170 years ago. And I had run away from an orphanage in Ireland. That's a whole other story. But I had run away, and I picked the wrong night to run away, though. It was a bad storm, and I wasn't dressed properly, And I was on this little road in Ireland, and there was a bend, and I'm shivering underneath this tree. Tell you the truth, I didn't think I was going to make it till the morning, And what do you know? After a while, coming around the bend is this beautiful caravan, like a bouquet of bouquet of flowers from Bolivia or something, just beautiful. And with 2 horses. I jump on the road, I waved them down. They were decent people. They let me come on board. And there was a couple, and the woman, she fed me, she gave me dry clothes, she saved my life. She really did. And they were, well, what happened was, luckily it was during harvest time, so they saw me working. I was, I was about 13 years old, and I picked fruit and vegetables, I worked my ass off, and so they let me tag along with them. And he was a very talented guy. He repaired pots and pans. If you needed the seat of a chair fixed, he could do that. And what else? We would catch rats, all kinds of shit. What she did, she was a very talented fortune teller. She read tarot cards, stuff like that. If you needed her to cast a spell or a charm, she could do that for you also. She was very mad skills, as the kids say at the bodega up the block. And well, we had a couple of good summers there, and then one winter came along. You probably heard about this. Is when all the potatoes went to hell, and there was no food, there was no money, and we hadn't eaten in a couple of weeks. Things were really bad, and he got the bad idea, to steal a horse from a farmer. So we steal the horse, me and him, we steal this horse, and boy, we got out of that town quick. We kept going until the horses got tired, and we pulled over the side of a road into a field, and we were sleeping there. And in the middle of the morning, about 5 a.m., these 5 fucking guys woke us up. And they didn't do anything to the wife, and I got out of there. But they just pulled this poor guy apart. They pulled him apart on the road there. It was like a crucifixion. He was all over the place. It was like the scarecrow in Oz. I was never so scared in my life. I hopped over a hedge. I ran through that field. I kept running, field after field after field, bog after bog after bog, hill after hill after hill. That's the problem with memories. You think you find a memory and then you run with it. You think it's going to take you to some nice meadow and you're going to lay down on your back with the sun on your face. And what do you find? You find the night. Always the fucking night. No light anywhere. That's the problem with memories. That's the problem with memories. Many a moon ago, I used to live with a woman. We lived together for about 30 years, something like that. And one early morning, a jogger found a little rattan suitcase in the middle of the George Washington Bridge. She left a ring on top of the suitcase. A couple days later, the cops found her banging up against some mossy rocks over on the Jersey side. I couldn't go to the funeral, I just couldn't. And I went down to the liquor store, got a pint of Bacardi, some orange juice, started heading home. Remember, started spitting snow. I get home and I knock it back, the juice and the booze, and after a while I made my way up to the roof. It was a 5-story building, and I remember cracking open up the roof door, and the wind just grabbed it and hurled it, flung it open. It was snowing much heavier now. And, which was good because you really couldn't see anything. It was like somebody had thrown a sheet over you or something. I didn't believe in God, I don't believe in religion, I can't stand any of them. Anything that separates people I don't like, And they're gonna blow us all fucking up to hell now with all this religion nonsense. Come on, this is 6,000 years we're talking about. I'm gonna live my life according to some book 6,000 years ago, written by people pushing wheelbarrows around. No disrespect for them, but what did they know back then? Did they know about, when the crops died? They didn't know anything, Somebody who's bipolar or has a disease, they think you're a witch, they fucking stone you. Come on. They found the bones, people. Anyway. So I go over the edge of the roof, I find my way over there, I sit down on the edge and I swing my feet over the ledge there. And I remember thinking, I have no problem doing this, just leaping. But her gone, she was my life. She was, my friends were her, my friends were her friends, and there was nobody to love me anymore, I thought, who the fuck wants to live in a world without love, So I had no problem. On the count of 3, I was going over. Well, that's what I did. 1, 2, and just as I was about to say 3, what do I hear over my shoulder? I hear somebody say, as clear as you're hearing my voice right now, I heard a voice say, but I love you. And I turn around, there's nobody there. And nothing like that ever happened to me before. I don't go around hearing voices. I went downstairs, crawled into bed, cried for about the next 6 months every day. Every fucking day. I get on the subway, I'd be crying, some old woman come up to me and say, you okay, sweetheart? Don't worry, pain doesn't last forever, I get on a crosstown bus, and I'd say to the bus driver, have a good day, and if he returned the sentiment, I was good for a couple of hours. If he didn't, I'd go in the back of the bus and start crying again. I don't know, never found out whose voice that was. Someone said to me, well, maybe it was your inner kid, your inner child. I don't know what to make of that. He never talked to me before or since. Her name was... Yeah, never mind what her fucking name was, okay? Never fucking mind.
My story is much too sad to be told, but practically everything leaves me totally cold. The only exception I know is the case when I'm out on a quiet...
I remember there was one time I was... Oh, fuck, I forgot. Wait, oh, shit, I got my first sponsor. My first sponsor, I don't know if you can read that, Avenek ointment. It's for hemorrhoids, and it's for discomfort, itching, or burning, and it's one of natural, what do you call that natural shit? The homeopathic, Avenek, Aveneck ointment for what do you call it? Hemorrhoids, and very good stuff. I use it, and they sent me a case of this shit if I gave them a little plug. So buy it, will you? Anyway, what was I saying? I remember this one time I was in my mother's womb, and somebody had left a dirty hypo in there. We were living out near Coney Island at the time. And anyway, I remember using some of the umbilical cord tied up and pushed the plunger, and boy, that was some good shit. I always loved heroin, you know. I remember just laying back, floating, and this Van Gogh sky just kind of bloomed over my head. All the stars brushed their teeth, just shining, beautiful. I remember there was a song there was a song that was popular on the radio at the time, and I remember, again, I'm in her womb, and I remember singing it and humming it, you know. I get no kick from champagne, beer, alcohol doesn't thrill me at all, so why should, you know that song. I remember my mother called out at the time. She said to my father in the living room, Johnny, the baby's gonna be a singer. She was clutching her belly. She was all so happy. And Knucklehead comes stumbling into the kitchen all drunk saying, what the fuck are you yelling about? When I was 16, there was a hooker I used to see up in Hunts Point. She was no more older than I was. And my father at the time managed to get himself knocked off by the mob, not paying some gambling debt. I never really found out what the whole story was, not that I care. But I thought the mob was going to come after me and my mother and my little brother. So my father had a .38 gun. I found it. I carried that for the next 6 months. And I managed to, I had his car. I didn't know how to drive, really. I mean, I could drive. I had a hard time parking the fucking thing. It was a big Impala. But I had the keys, and I'd drive around. I didn't have a license, obviously. And I'd go up to Hunts Point, pick her up sometimes, and that's where she worked. And we drive over to, White Castle, pick up some burgers, drive down there to Hudson River, you know, eat, shoot dope, you know, fuck, fight, what most couples do. I remember her boyfriend at the time, this fucking pimp, he gave her a nice cut on the face, almost 50 stitches. One night I waited for him. I waited for him in the car. He was inside his mother's house. I waited all night till the morning. Fucking never came out. You're lucky. Someone left on the subway the other night, the newspaper. I was looking at it, and I saw that they have Van Gogh's Starry Night painting in one of the museums in town. I'm thinking I should go see that. I'd like to go see that painting. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. All the good it did him, right? All the fucking good it did Vinny.
How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I do hope that dog is for sale. I must take a trip to California.
I'm just having one of those days, you know. We all get them. And, I guess I'm just getting too old to be doing the kind of work that I do, the line of work that I'm in, you know. I know, it was so much easier back in the day. Things were much more black and white, you know. You had to do what you had to do. A guy had to go, he had to go. You know, it was nothing. It was just business. It was nothing personal. There was nothing personal about it. I mean, sometimes it was personal, but boy, things are so much complicated now. I just been doing it too long. I live in this fucking city for too long. You know, like this guy just now didn't like to pay his debts. You know, his debts. This is not to society. You know, he didn't like to pay his debts. You know what I mean. So, you know, got to take care of business, right? But it was tricky because when I was leaving, this old lady next door, she's going and doing the shopping or the cart, and she saw me, and now I got her, and I have two things I got to do, you know. And the fucking guy is so irresponsible. He lived by himself. And you know, what is he? What's there? I'm doing the thing, and there he is. Just look at this. This guy. Look at this, what he has. Can you believe this? And he has this guy's there. What am I supposed to do with him? You know, I don't know when he ate last. I don't know how much to feed the dog, right? So I gotta get involved. I gotta take the poor guy. I don't want to take him. You know, never had the first time. The guys I've clipped in this country, you know, and the first time I had to take a guy walk away with a goddamn poodle. Can you believe this? But I got it. You know, what am I gonna do? I can't leave him there. You know, the poor guy. It's not his fault. You know. Anyway, okay. Here you go. Nice, sweetheart. So, by the way, if you know anybody who will look into an adopt a beautiful little puppy, you saw his face. Call me. Have them call me. 646-748-0. I'll take care of it. Oh man, what a week. Jesus Christ. It's just been, you know, not just the day, it's the whole fucking week. Got these guys now, these cigars down on Mulberry Street, they're after me. I mean, the guys I grew up with. That's the only reason why I'm not laying on some church steps with my fucking head bashed in. But I have this thing, I black out from time to time. You know, and so that's what happened. Apparently, I woke up on, this train conductor found me 4 a.m. nude on the B train. I didn't even know there was a fucking B train. So he apparently I'm nude. I'm wearing nothing but some stiletto. You know, the heel broke. It's crazy, I tell you. So what does he do? Apparently makes a big scene. He stops the train, calls the cops. Cops taking me fucking 3 days in Rikers with this bullshit. Anyway, word gets back down to Mulberry Street. They want some calls have to be made to smooth it all down. I'm sure it'll be fine. I hope it'll be fine. These guys, you know, I just... Anyway, I got enough SpaghettiOs in the cabinet and got some Haagen-Dazs, so I should be okay. And my little friend here will probably keep me company. Huh? Hey, pal. Hey, Muggy. You keep me company for a couple of days? Nice. You're my forever friend. Huh? Is that what you are? My forever friend. Beautiful face on her. Jeez, I hate to... You know, I don't want to... I hope I can get rid of him somehow. You know, I mean, I don't want to get rid of him. You know? That'd be a shame. He should have he's an innocent guy, you know? once when I was about 12 years old. We lived upstate. And my father, he lost his job, so he packs me and my mother and my little sister in the car, and off to Florida we go. And the night before we were leaving, he calls me in the backyard, and there were some trees back there, and we get a shovel, makes me make this hole. I shoveled this hole, and he calls. We had this big dog, Murph, big German Shepherd, beautiful fucking dog, beautiful. Anyway, I call Murph, and my father wants him in the hole. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Put him in the hole. He had a little 38 snub that he took out from behind us, and kept it in his behind his belt. I had shot it a couple of times, he'd be holding my hand. I shot it a couple of times. Anyway, what does he do? Puts the gun in my hand and I should never let him done that. I should have fought him on that one. Anyway, you lose some. You lose some, you win some. Isn't that what they say? Jesus Christ, what a day this has turned out to be. You always hear about Irish luck. I mean, that is the biggest joke, Irish luck. No such thing as Irish luck. Some goddamn joke the English played on the Irish a long time ago. Trust me. I was telling you before about this guy I had to take care of, and the Mulberry Street guys, the cigars that were after me, blah, 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 blah. Nothing has been resolved there. But anyway, when I was talking to you before, I get out of the bathtub, and what do I realize? I left my goddamn phone down at this job. Can you believe that? I mean, Jesus Christ, they find my phone there. I mean, bye-bye, Dutchie. Bye-bye, Dutch. Let me know where to send you the care packages for the next 40 years. So, things are a little hot at the moment. I look through my Venetian blind. Who do I see downstairs in a car? Two guys you don't want to see. A guy named Fat Tony and another guy named Barcode. Fat Tony, as you can imagine, is not so skinny. And Barcode, well, he doesn't have much hair, and he does like a kind of a terrible comb over. He's just, the few strands of hair there, and it looks like from above, like a Barcode. He does not like that name, by the way. So anyway, I gotta get past these two knuckleheads. So I go up to my roof, and I go across the roof, go down the fire escape, and I jump into the backyard alley. These goddamn 4 Chinese guys cleaning snow peas in a goddamn big pot like that. There's a restaurant down there. Anyway, I go to the house. Fucking place is a mess, You got the guy, number one. Then you got that old woman I was telling about who went shopping, had to take care of her. She's laying on top of him. I mean, I know messes, and this is a mess, right? Anyway, I find my phone, right? All of a sudden, I'm about to leave. I hear a noise in the. Excuse me, I'm a little jumpy at the moment. Where was I? I hear a sound in the bedroom. I go in the bedroom, and there's a noise coming from the closet. I go there with my gun, holding the gun, open the closet. Guess what's in there? A little girl, a little 14-year-old girl. Do you believe this? A little 14-year-old girl. And you know something? Her face was about three quarters of the way covered in gauze. Gauze. And she's there shivering. And guess what she's holding? You're not gonna believe this one. You're not gonna believe this one. What? Don't believe this one. Hey. Oh. Hey. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Remember these two? This was the guy this is the guy I was telling you the other one, you remember? This guy over here is the brother. Can you believe that? She's there, she's holding the little guy over here. He loves biting this one. This is the brother. She's holding him. Can you believe this? Huh? I mean, now I got two dogs. What the? Irish look, right? You know what I mean? Okay, let me go down. Whoa, sorry. Okay, give me a minute, guys. Give me a minute, guys, and I feed you some nice stuff, okay? So anyway. So, what do I asked her to come out. I said, sweetheart, it's going to be okay. This is not a good thing, by the way. I have to wanted to tell you. This is a little girl being there. So, I said, what the hell happened to your face? Sweetheart, what happened to your face? But, you know, she's not forthcoming with the details, this girl. It's like, I have to pull it out of her. What happens was she was in some kind of Catholic school thing up in the Catskills for, you know, inner city kids, whatever. She got too close to a donkey. Can you believe this? She got too close with the donkey, and the fucking donkey bit her face. Bit her nose off. Took a nice big chunk out of her forehead. Jesus Christ, I mean, her face was all raw and... shit. And you could tell she was a pretty girl. Beautiful black hair. Like a raven or something. Like a raven's coat, you know. So, now I'm in a situation, you know. I've been talking to her. She saw me. You know. So... I was an altar boy as a kid. One time. Jeez, I hope I get a good night's sleep tonight. Hey, come on, you guys. Be nice. Come on. That's all you've got is each other. You've only got each other. Hey, cut it.
Truly lives in a very dark